Hello, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. Sit down, please. I would like to speak English today too, to improve my English speaking skill. Let's get started. Typhoon is coming to Japan, so be prepared for that. My friend asked me if I would like to go to the theater next week. I decided to study English every day, almost every day. I decided to sell the DVD box to the store to make ends meet. I decided not to sell the antique and keep it for my grandfather. I decided not to sell the antiques my grandfather used to collect. Every time I see the antiques, I remember the memories I spent with my grandfather. I desire to go abroad and work. I desire to work internationally. I desire to work with foreign people and have a lot of friends in the world. I desire to be an artist, and my arts will be acknowledged, admitted by people in the world. I desire to be rich. I desire to be able to speak English as fluently as a native speaker. I desire to be able to understand English movie. I expect the weather to be sunny tomorrow. I expect him to come to my house tomorrow. I expect the rain to stop by tomorrow. I expect the rain to stop by next week. I expect the lecturer to stop speaking within 10 minutes. I expect the plane to arrive within 15 minutes. I expect the plane not to leave within 15 minutes. I failed to submit my report to my boss because I slept over. I failed to post to the office. I failed to post the letter because I was too late. It was already 5 o'clock p.m. Her singing never fails to astonish me. So beautiful. Her singing never fails to astonish me, surprise me. Did you fail to pass the examination? Did you fail to pass the entrance examination of the university? I failed to persuade my sister not to go abroad alone. The father failed to persuade his daughter not to marry the guy. I failed to hold my breath for 1 minute in the water. I failed to climb the mountain alone. I failed to make her happy. I failed to make him happy. I hope to make her happy. I hope to be able to speak English as fluently as the native speaker. I hope that it will be sunny tomorrow. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to go to the school. I didn't mean to say such a thing to her, but it was come out from my mouth by accident. I didn't mean to buy this candy, but the staff in the supermarket recommended me, so there was no choice but to buy it. I didn't mean to buy it, actually. I mean to go to McDonald's next week to buy French fries. I mean to go to the library this weekend to study. I don't mean to go to the theater this weekend because I have to study. I will not mean to go to the cinema tonight. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on your foot. It happened by accident. I'm so sorry. I'm learning to speak English fluently. I'm learning to operate the machine. I'm learning to operate the machine, operate the computer. I'm learning to write a programming code. I have to learn to speak fluently. I have to learn to speak English better in public so that my English will be understood. I learned to make people happy. Did you learn to make people happy? Have you learned to make people happy? I slept over last night, but I managed to catch the train. Fortunately, I managed to get more than 900 score on the TOEIC test. I managed to submit the report to my boss by the deadline. I managed to arrive at the school in time. I managed to arrive at the cinema in time for the start. I managed to arrive at the meeting place in time for the start. I managed to arrive at the venue. I managed to persuade the young lady not to jump off the cliff. My boss offered me generous pay rates. My boss offered to give me a ride to my house tonight. My coworker offered to give me a cup of coffee this morning. My coworker offered to pick me up at my office tomorrow morning. I would like to offer you to pick you up at your house tomorrow morning and go to the office together. The staff of the supermarket offered to give me 10% discount because I shop at the supermarket every day, and she gave me the discount. The staff of the department store offered to give me 10% discount. My daughter was pretending to be studying in her room, but she was actually didn't. I pretended to be serious in front of my boss, but actually I was laughing in my heart. But I tried to pretend to be serious in front of my boss because my boss was so serious, and there was something wrong on her face, and I could not help laughing in my heart, but I tried to pretend to be serious in front of the boss. When I went to see the cinema, I pretended to be interested in the movie, though I was not interested in the movie actually, because I didn't want to make my friends sad or mad. The criminal entered the office building pretending to be a police officer. The thief entered the building pretending to be a politician. My parents promised me to buy PlayStation 4 if I get 100 score on the test. You promised me not to say such a thing to me again. You promised me to pick me up at my office this morning at 7 o'clock. So I was waiting for you, but you didn't come. Even you were still sleeping. You didn't reply my message. I refused to work at the company because the content of the work didn't what I wanted to do. I refused to go to the party tonight because I had the examination the next day. Did you refuse to take the job at the company? Yes. Because the job was not what I wanted to do. She refused to marry him. I am seeking to improve my English skill. I am seeking to keep healthy. I am seeking to stay hungry. I am seeking to stay healthy by eating vegetarian food. I seek to solve the problem, but I couldn't by myself, so I asked my friend to solve the problem together. I seek to arrive at the station, but I did not have car navigation in my car, and I couldn't also use internet. So I called my friend to help me to get to the station. I seek to solve my own problem by thinking hours of times. So I finally found the way to solve the problem. Did you even seek to solve the problem yourself? Or are you just asking me how to solve the problem without thinking? You should think first. Then if you cannot find the way, I will give you the advice. I seek to climb the mountain, but I gave up on the way and came back. I seek to study Italian, but it was very confusing, so I gave up. I seek to eat all of the cuisine, but it was too a lot for me, so I gave up. I couldn't finish all of the food. I wish to be rich. I wish the world to be peaceful. I wish to be able to understand English movie easily, like native people. I wish to be able to speak English as fluently as a native speaker. I wish to be able to read English as smoothly as a native speaker. I wish the world to be peaceful without war forever. Okay, if you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you. See you.